And now it's time for the latest exciting episode of Doz's Television Workshop.
Hello and welcome back to Doz's Television Workshop, where today we're going to be looking at this beautiful French Radiola RA248 radio. It's a Philips, really. Alright, well, it's a super looking bit of kit. Very much in the French style. This sort of wonderful casework here. Radiola in sort of a raised three-dimensional logo there. I believe, however, it's actually a Philips set. We've got Geo and PO. Geo is Grand Ondes, O-N-D-E-S, Ondes. Anyway, that's big waves, and PO, Petite Ondes, which is small waves. So it's long and medium wave. Not sure what OC means. Presumably, that is shortwave, maybe? Yeah. Anyway, we've got the usual sort of period markings for the cities that had the big radio stations in. There's Droitwich, look, on long wave. Luxembourg, now gone, of course. Europe and France. Has France still got one? I think it has, but I don't think it's up there on the dial. I think it's more back this way. But there we are. On the back, this is where it sort of gives away its Philips construction, I think. 220 volts or 124 volts. Prise pour turn disc, open for turn disc, record player, turning of discs. Sounds reasonable to me. There's a sort of diagram there. It's all a bit worn off, sadly. And here we have aerial, look. It's a picture of wire aerial. And earth. Picture of a tap. I can see the Philips logo, simply years ahead, on the valves here, and I think I can see a replacement capacitor that somebody's fitted in there in the past. Mains lead is, of course, here, just a simple two-core affair, not much in the way of insulation going on. I wonder what we've got in the fuse department. Let's just have a look at that first before we go mad. Let's obtain a screwdriver. Good quality MK plug, though. Oh, it's black, and it is 5 amps. Well, it could have been worse, couldn't it? It could have been a 13 amp, I suppose. Yeah, we'll see if we can find a 3 to go in there. In fact, while I've got it there, let me just go and check the fuse drawer and see if we've got 3 amps. Yep, we have. Let's pop one of those in. That's much more reasonable size of fuse to go in there. Quality fuse, look, Bussman. None of this slightly worrying fuse-proof ones that appear to be making their way into the country at the moment through various import. You know what I mean. Anyway, there we go. Oh, there was one in there. Look, I could have used that one. Anyway, right. Jolly good. Now, I believe the fault is horrible humming and doesn't perform very well. So I have here the lamp limiter. So what have we got on the front? How do we move the tuning for a start? Right, that appears to be the tuning. Yeah, I can see the scale moving behind there. OC, which I presume is shortwave. Pick up. Geo and PO. We'll go for some Grand Ondes. It'll be horrible in here at night. We'll move that down to approximately Droitwich. That's the wrong knob. Where's Droitwich on the scale? That's 1,500 metres. So there or thereabouts. Right. Lamp limiter is connected to the variac. That's all off at the minute. I'm going to turn the variac down loads. Put the supply on and bring that up sort of slowly-ish. I've got the smaller lamp in circuit, by the way, so 96 volts. We're not consuming any current whatsoever. 119 volts. Have I got that in shot anywhere? Oh, I have. 119 volts. We don't appear to be doing a lot. £174 volts, 175, 176. Not got much glowing, have we? Have we got any noise out of the speaker at all? Nothing. Ah! I've done an nudge, haven't I? Arrête, marche. Stop, marche. Is that go? Don't know. Right, repeat the procedure. Right, let's go for 100 volts, see what happens. 100 volts, yes, we're consuming a bit of current now, look. Excellent news. No life from the dim bulb tester. We just turn the light above us off. Have we got a dial lamp that's doing anything? Ooh, have we? I'm not quite sure. Yes, I believe we have got a very dim lamp, so that's something. Give that a minute. Have we got any filaments glowing in the back? I can see a very dim dial lamp through the back, but I can't see any of the valve heaters coming on. Bit more. 120, 130 volts there. Perhaps what I should have done is take... Oh! We have some action. There'll be a horrible amount of interference in here from the cameras and the lights and everything else. I think this one's particularly grim if I put that on. Or maybe not. And it is after dark here. Right, so that doesn't seem too bad. That's 190 volts. Let's turn that down just in case we get a bit of a copyright strike, although it's spoken word. It's still not my spoken word, is it? 200 volts, 220, 236. We've got a slight glow from the lamp. What have we got on our output? 190, so... Right, let's give it full mains. So there is a little bit of hum there. You can hear that if I lean forward with the lav. In fact, I think the lav's actually rolled off, so you probably can't hear a 50 hertz. Oh, we've got plenty of volume, so that's encouraging. Right. So, what have we got? We've got one screw there, and I take it the other one is probably under this bung. That would probably have been the model number. Oh no, model number's in the window there, so that's helpful. Right, yep, we have indeed got a screw there. So let me get a screwdriver back out. We'll fetch these out. Oh, okay, that's a screw. That's a screw. Oh, and a washer. Do we have a washer in that one? There is a washer stuck in the hole. Let's just retrieve that before it goes walkabout. More plastic caps, maybe. Jonathan is very much a Francophile. He has a wonderful car. And I will insert a photograph of me getting a lift in it. I am not sat in the driver's seat, as you think I might be, because it's a left-hand drive vehicle, suitable for being used in France, of course. And that is, I don't know how old it is, but it's his Traction Avant. And I don't know how old it is, like I say, but I suspect it's of some vintage. Perhaps somebody who has an eye for these things can tell me. It's probably not built in slough as some of them were. Right. Okay. Oh, we've certainly got Phillips valves all round, haven't we? So in the back down there, we have, what's that? An EY85. EY? Really? Or am I not reading that right? Let's throw a bit of light on the subject. Oh, UY85, so that's our rectifier. UCH81, UBF80, and I don't know, that'll be our output valve. Yeah, I don't know what that would have been. It's we're going to struggle here, aren't we? Because I still don't have a model number. Somebody has changed 2 electrolytics across the back there. They appear to have done quite a reasonable job. A lot of those pitched capacitors that generally are quite reliable. Doublier. I suspect they may be past their best. We could take them out, check them for leakage, couldn't we? But yeah, it does seem in quite good condition, really. It wants a bit of a dusting out, doesn't it? But it doesn't appear to be humming as badly as I thought it would. These modern electrolytics in there, is that held in with duct tape? Oh, it is. That's not very nice, is it? Could have at least used a zip tie or something. Obviously, I can imagine there would have been a dual section can in there at some stage. But no, they look fairly modern, if covered in dust. Right, so what am I going to do? Because it does appear to be working quite nicely. Oh, we appear to be... Are we missing a dial lamp up there? We'll have a look at that in a minute as well, because I think we've only got one dial lamp, and that's that one there. There appears to be another dial lamp in this top right-hand corner. So, right, I think the first thing to do is to have a little birthday, isn't it? So, right, let me... let me just perhaps consider removing this mains lead for a moment and feeding the mains lead through the back so I can lose the back completely, so it's not hanging around getting in my way. Okay. Yeah, there's a certain amount of muck and nasty in there. Look, that can do with a little clean. Look at all the screening though. There's a spring there which obviously contacts the chassis and screens the bottom. Very nice. Now, the other thing we've got to consider is a little bit of safety. Just to check the neutral, is one side of it connected to the chassis? I suspect it is, because I can't see any other way of it working. So, also, where's the dropper? Normally they're on the top of the chassis because heat rises and it'll... you want it out of the cabinet really, but anyway, right, let's... suitable hole. Here's one side of this. Down to ground. That side isn't. 276 ohms. Not quite down to ground, but that side really ought to be our neutral. So we'll make sure we put it back together that way round. I suspect we could probe in through the back. The back has got a plastic window over it, so they've made some effort to isolate it. Yeah, the aerial socket, however, doesn't appear to be, except for by some of those pitch tar caps, but they'll be fine, I'm fairly sure. Oh, hang on, mains transformer. So one side of the chassis is not connected back to ground. These WA caps have obviously been changed sometime in the past, but I wonder if they're a little bit past the sell-by. Let's have a clean up, and I think we need to do something with those capacitors really. That duct tape that's holding them together, it's going to dry out in there in pretty rapid time, I'd have thought. In fact, I'm surprised it hasn't gone already. Clearly it's had some work in the not so distant past. Well, at least we can see a little bit of what we're doing now. So that's UCH81. Go on, you know you want it. There we go, and that's our UBC80. UBF80, my bad. Quite like these little Paxlon standoff valve holders that appear to be quite pleasant. Right, so despite the fact I don't think these have been in there that long, they are of a certain vintage because they haven't been made since the 70s. So I think as a matter of course, at least let's take them out and have a look. So there's a cap in there as well. That might be, I know. Yeah, okay. So I just wonder if that's our mains input, why we've got 200 and something ohms between the chassis and the neutral side of the mains lead, or one side of the mains lead. There could be a resistor in there, couldn't there? Let's go and see if we can have a little search on the internet, find out what it actually is. Okay. Well, a very quick Google image search has brought me to this page, Radiola RA248A, radio France 50 to 59. Vintage tube radio from 50 or 60, brand, this is all a bit vague, isn't it? Radiola, asymmetrical lines, angled lighting, compass feet, working condition for shortwave and long wave. Well, just looking at that picture, theirs appears to be the same as ours, so it's got a medium wave on it as well for revision or upgrade to FM decorative item. So pretty thin on the ground. RA284A, 248A, what am I on about? 248A Radiola. Let's put that in our search. RA, oh, for goodness sake, there we are. 284A schematic. And let's see. Oh, so we've got some images for that. Radiomuseum.org. Oh, it's quite straightforward. Oh, there we are. And we have a tiny schematic. Let's see if we can't find anything a bit better. Classic Radio Gallery. Antique French radios. Here we are. Schematics, 1 megabyte of PDF. Are we? Oh, beautiful. And of course, it is in French. Super heterodyne. cadre ferrocapteur 4B de 24 centimeters pour les. So that's presumably a ferrite rod for, yeah, I was right, look, for medium and long wave. A plaque antenna for OC, which is shortwave. Plaque antenna. No idea what that is, but presumably an antenna and presumably a socket for antenna, an external antenna, and Terra, Earth. Okay. Right. UCH of 81, frequency changer, UBF 80, IF amplifier and detector, UCL 80, amplifier BF, audio maybe? UY, yes, UCL 82 is the output valve. UY 85, redressement, which presumably is French for rectifier. Stringing data, so we've got it all, haven't we, really? So why have I only got 200 ohms between the ground and there's a fusible resistor? Oh no, that is actually a glass fuse. I've just looked over at the chassis. It was just covered in, what's it? Function, so something resu at 240 volts. 100 ohms in there. Have we got that? No, we haven't, but we've got a switch on the back, so. Right, we've got a super diagram anyway. So let's have a little zoom in on that. So where's our mains coming in? Here's our mains coming in, and sure enough, there is 130 ohms between there and ground. So that may have risen to 260. R14, I wonder where that is. R14. Ah, so that was originally 220 volts, look. And if you want to run it on 240, you need to put another 100 ohms in the line. Fair enough. Well, we are 240 in this country, despite the fact it's advertised as not. It is 16, 20 kilos. I don't quite understand what. Those are, that's RIF can. 525 kilohertz, that would be about right. L4. Lamp, that's one of our valves. Jolly good. Right, we're getting the hang of this now. It's one of the things I just wish I paid attention when I was at school, is foreign languages, but I'm just no good at it. There is capacitively coupled into our gram socket, which goes back to chassis, and to neutral by 130 ohms. Don't really like that, but anyway, it was done at the time. So the output bottle is a triode pentode. There is our volume control. Where's that 0.1? Is it on the grid? 20 nanofarads, C26. There's no table about where anything is there, underneath? This is going to be a matter of just tracing everything out. That's how you should wire your phono cartridge. So you have a wire shield in there. It's all interesting stuff, isn't it? Oh, these are switch positions. I was looking at them thinking of a valve basis for a second, but clearly not. Set it to 1500 kilohertz, turn the volume to maximum, voltmeter, S16, it's 455 kilohertz IF, quite modern then really. So that's how we can line it up. Connections à 400 sud. Right, okay. Anyway, have we got, what have we, these are clearly those two electrolytics that have been replaced. 152 volts, 123 volts. Is that nanofarads in there? It probably is. Let me zoom in a little bit more. 47 nanofarads decoupling. Oh, it's not decoupling, sorry. Cathode, straight to ground. Okay. Cathode. No, that's grid leak. 10 nanofarads coupling. This is our volume control feeding our triode section, the audio preamp. 20 nanofarads taking it out. Where are these 0.1s? Look to be in the supply sort of area. Let me just tilt the chassis up again. No, they're not. They're right by the audio output transformer. I reckon they're probably at that capacitor there and that capacitor there, and they've just been changed up for values that whoever did it last had. Right, that's enough looking at that. Let's get back on it and see if we can sort out. I just don't see much of this hum. I wonder if we do leave it on for a little while. Maybe we've got a heater cathode short on one of these valves and it's causing it to hum as the cathode is modulated by the heaters. Where are the heaters? That's a good point. Where's the heater voltage derived? Oh, it's a series chain, isn't it? So, yeah. So there'll be mains going in one side, probably on the end of one of these. And then, yeah, going across somewhere, maybe. All right. Let's get on it. Right, I've got the thing back upside down a little bit. And yeah, I think these were originally a bit smaller in value, but probably all right. And I was saying they were 0.1, they're actually 0.01, I think. So I'm just gonna, even if they were new old stock when they went in, I suspect they were getting on in their years. So I'm just gonna uplift one end, and we'll get the component analyzer on there. And we'll see if it's any good. The other thing I have just confirmed is there is no extra 100 ohms for use on 240 volts. So unfortunately this set is going to be somewhat overrun in its life, which is disappointing, which will have shortened dramatically the life expectancy of the valves. But hey, let's have the DCA out. So I'm just going to clip. Wrong one. We want the LCR, don't we? LCR. There it is. Super. One there. One there. Come on. Yeah. Test. You see that? Yeah, just about. $16 nanofarads, 0.01. 100 nanofarads, yeah, okay. What we can't tell from that is if it's leaking like a sieve. So let's put the multimeter on it. Multimeter. We've got that set to ohms, so let's measure it. That measures good, doesn't it, really? That one's in circuit, but okay. Let's just take that one out of circuit. See if he's okay. He's struggling to find a bit of a fault. Disappointing, really. Again, same value there. How much like 0 are we here? 0.6 of a puff, that's nothing really. Okay, bit of ohmage. Of course, this is nothing like the voltage it's running at, but they're just super open. I have to say, they don't look cracked or anything, which is probably what kills them. They let the moisture in and it dies. So, we sort of haven't got a fault really. Let us spin it round again. Plug the not so safe block in. Make sure the lead that's next to the... I am isolated here, by the way. It is an isolating transformer, so this is not quite as important. In fact, it makes no difference at the moment, but which one of these has that resistance between it? That one. So when that goes back into the plug, that ought to be neutral. And I just wonder if we're to add that 100 ohms in. The book does say it's supposed to be there. Would give our valves a bit of an easier life, wouldn't it, if they're not already burned out. I understand Jonathan uses this quite often, and it was set to Geo, so long wave. I suspect he uses it on for Radio 4 every morning. Let me just have a look at that connection point again for 240 volts. It is from 3 to the top of the fusible. So we disconnect that. Let me just get this right. You can see this is actually a glass fuse. I think that's been wrapped around. In fact, I don't know if you can see this on camera, but the leg wraps around the end of the glass tube. The fuse wire is just wrapped round and then goes through the centre of the glass tube. So it's almost... One wonders whether it would almost be repairable. Right, what have I got on 100 ohms? According to that, it's going to be dissipating nearly 2 watts. So, oh, the very thing. There's a nice hefty wire wound something or other. That'll do nicely, won't it? So that goes between tag number there, whatever that is, tag 2, and yeah, the fusible. So of course this will have the practical effect of lowering the heater voltage in the chain and also lowering the HT a bit. So hopefully we've still got some sensitivity left after we've finished. If the valves are cooked, we might not, in which case we'll have to find a new set of valves. Right. I did connect that to the safe block. I'm going to drop that straight in the mains and lose the bulb tester. Let's take that out of the way. When I say straight in the mains, it's straight from the output from the isolation transformer and the variac. So we should be pretty good. Marsh, volume on. Well, that was spectacular. Our 100 ohm resistor has just lit up. Have I missed something in my French? More than likely. Still, at least the resistor died. Wow, that was something else. So I'm just going to clearly take that back out again. I am off, aren't I? Yes, I am. Jolly good. Wish I'd had the lamp limiter in now. Yeah. That died a very rapid and unnecessary death. Right, let's put that back down to tag 2. And just limit our variac slightly to 220 is going to be the answer. And then I shall give that manual to my friend John, because his French is outstanding. Or in fact, Anselm. There's a super chap. He is of French extraction, so... And I'm seeing him tomorrow. Okay. Hopefully we didn't do our fuse. I made a nice mess of that valve, look. Oh. Let's get all the soot off that. And hopefully we're all right. I'm going to bring the variac back in, and we're just going to turn that down, switch on, and hopefully we've still got something left of everything else. Right, that's now at 220. Good, we've still got dial lamp, so we have got a lamp up there, look. I hadn't spotted that before. You can just see it glowing in the corner, obviously to illuminate the structure. Good, we're still working. There's the beauty of valve equipment, of course. There's Droitwich, the only station on long wave we can get in here. Oh, listen to all the noise and interference. Yeah, for sure. Let's just try medium wave. Ooh, utterly dead. Perhaps that's the fault. Ah. We've got a defective switch there, haven't we, without a shadow of a doubt. The good news is that's running at 220 volts, so our valves have survived being somewhat overrun. I'll get that manual translated tomorrow by Anselm, and we'll see what we actually do to make this work properly on 240 volts. Right, well, the hum doesn't seem to be apparent yet. I still haven't run it for any length of time, which I will do in a minute. But clearly our wave change switch is rubbish. So I'm just looking here at the wave change switch, and it is both sets of wafers, and they have been cleaned before because they're all oily and horrible. Let us use some of the posh stuff, because it is Jonathan, and he is right. Deoxit. Oh, crumbs, that is cleaning up. Yeah, It's the beauty of valve kits sometimes. It didn't mind that explosion occurring, did it? Couldn't have got away with that with something something that's transistorized. Just work that in a little bit, and we shall try again. Petit Andres, right, on, lit up again, and let's see if we can't get a bit of something action on medium wave that's reliable. Well, that's much better.
In their group. That 4-1 with Chelsea involved, I'm not happy. 4-1 a couple of weeks ago against Spurs, but that finished.
So after dark, we stand a chance of getting Caroline in. Does it go high enough? What are we on? 648. 400, 450, 500. No, there's too much noise in here.
You know, Paris and Chelsea had a moment, both teams, within a couple of minutes of each other. Paris. And she was very frustrating too.
Radio 4. Let's go for OC, shall we? Shortwave. Nothing but a hum. I am really not surprised.
Qualifying rounds to very tough opposition. Proved with Paris for Arsenal and PSG.
Well, I'm pretty sure this has got very little wrong with it. I want to put that mod in for proper 240 volts. I've got to get rid of that bit of duct tape holding those capacitors in. That's most unpleasant. So I'm thinking a bit of a zip tie modification in there. I think we'll put it in the garage and give it a blow through with an airline. Yeah. So very little wrong. We've got all the dial lamps working. It's a little bit grubby. I'm wondering if it will benefit from the chassis actually being extracted and cleaning this lovely plastic case in the sink. Yeah. So, yeah, not a lot to do really. I'm going to leave it on now and see if we have got a heater cathode short in the valve somewhere that's causing the cathode to be modulated by the mains heater voltage at AC. And if that's the case, yeah, we will find out which valve it is and I shall report back directly. But just to avoid copyright problems, I'm going to stop here and just leave it on and listen to it.
Shirts, sweatshirts, polos, caps and jackets, plus the popular Caroline rugby shirt and our brand new Caroline Bell hoodie. There's also a wide selection of gifts, including mugs, canvases, books, car stickers, keyrings, DVDs and much, much more. Check out the Radio Caroline webshop at radiocaroline.co.uk. All profits go to the upkeep and maintenance of our radio ship Ross Revenge.
This is an urgent appeal to help us save our legendary radio ship, Ross Revenge.
Right, I've been working away for a week or so, so I haven't had a chance to get in the workshop. The little radiola is awaiting my return. And I have had a translation from my good friend Anselm of that bit in the service sheet that tells us how to put that 100 ohm resistor in for a 240 volt operation. And yeah, basically it says to do what it does in the diagram. So the translation is, and I don't know why I didn't use Google Translate actually, but anyway, Anselm did me a solid and yeah, this is what he wrote. It can work on 240 volts by inserting a coiled resistor of 100 ohms 3 watts on one of the input connectors. Now coiled is obviously wire wound. It's heavily recommended to distance that resistor from the box's walls. Makes sense, it's going to get warm. The anodic tension of normal mean intensity of the filament then becomes, so in other words, it turns the voltage down to the filaments and presumably the HT a bit, so our valves aren't overrun. shows you the dissipation. As shown on the diagram, the resistor is soldered directly onto the upper pin of the fuse holding plate. And he says plaquette implies something small and flat. Well, that's indeed our little mains connector sort of fuse board here. Anyway, yeah. So a couple of things have sort of garnered my interest. It's disconnected, just so you're not worried about me killing myself. And that's two things. One, we did exactly as it said in the diagram. And two, why didn't the fuse fail? And the fuse has been got at. So previously, we disconnected that fuse and my soldering iron's not working. Why is this? I haven't been here for weeks and the world has fallen apart around me. I have an error. There we go. Slightly loose connector, I think. Right, and the fuse has been got at. So if I zoom in a bit, here we go. You can see here, this is our fuse. And somebody, it obviously blew in years gone by, and some nefarious character has wrapped a bit of wire around there, look, run it through the tube and to this end. And that wire looks to be about 10 amps worth in my book. So, yeah, that's why that didn't blow, and our resistor just lit up like a Christmas tree. So that is going to have to come out. So, yeah, most unpleasant. So I'm going to disconnect that. And looking at it, I think I'm going to meter that out in a second. And we'll see what's connected to who and where and why. And we'll work out whether that's actually connected to the sort of negative chassis side of life, or it's actually in the line. I suppose it ought to be in the line, really, especially as it's possible if you'd connected the earth socket to the aerial, which you probably shouldn't do these days because that's not recommended to try and ground your neutral. But I seem to remember it's not quite directly connected, is it? There was some, well, there is a mains transformer, so yeah. Right, so this is coming out regardless. Of course, the mains lead is unpolarised, so it's probably neither here nor there. So I am going to remove this fuse. I wonder if we should test it and see where it actually blows. Yeah, maybe not. I have got a high current power supply over there. That'll do 10 amps. Right, that's come out. The other lead just snapped off. So our mains is on the middle and outside connectors. Presumably the voltage change switch down here goes to the transformer. Now the transformer, it's an auto transformer, so it's not got an isolated secondary. It's almost like a tapped transformer. So yeah, need to be just a bit aware of that. And yeah, this fuse is utterly useless. Now I'm just going to have a little look at that diagram and see what it's supposed to be rated to. F1, 3 amps. Well, that thickness of wire in there, go on focus, you know you want it. It's definitely a lot more than 3 amps. So let's find ourselves a 3 amp fuse. I mean, 3 amps is an awful lot of current, isn't it? I think we should go with something a little bit less for the UK mains. So I'm going to choose a 1.6 or something. What do we got? 1.6 amps. That's 4 amps. What's that doing in there? Have I not got any 1.6 amps? No. Let's go with an amp. Oh, hang on. No, let's go with a 1 amp fuse, shall we? And I'm going to mount a fuse holder in there somehow. Or maybe I should just sort of stick to the original design ethos and just have it solder some wires on it and have it hanging in midair. Let's see what we've got in the fuse holder department. Right, fuses and accessories. We got one of those sort of things. That solder onto the tag, and then I can come up there with my resistor. I think that's quite a lovely idea. Right, just see if I've got anything else a little perhaps better. Wickmans, some randoms in the bottom there. No, right, okay. Of course, on 120, what was it, 124 volts, the mains current is going to be more. I think 3 amps is excessive though. It's only a radio, isn't it? It's not a TV set, albeit valve, but hey. Just going to tin each end of the fuse holder up. You can't see what I'm doing, so I'll just widen the camera angle out of it. There we go. Yeah, that's hot. Can't think why. Just tin that end up. Right. Let's see if we can't make a bit of a job of that. Yeah, that's definitely supposed to be the one side of our holder there. Now, is that going to clash with the back? We may have to angle it at a jaunty angle to get it to clear. There we go. Let's put our 1 amp fuse in. And get ourselves another 100 ohm resistor. Right, there we are, that's in place. 100 ohms, right, up here. Where are they? 100 ohms. And this time, when I power up, I'm not going to be as blasé and just stick it straight on like I did last time. I shall bring it up with some gentleness on the variac. Right, let's angle this over a bit. Tin that end up. I think I'm quite confident that this hasn't been got at over the years, unlike some of the other bits. I think it might just have been a mistake made at the factory, you know. So that's going to sit in like that. We're going to want to snip it about there, I think. Let's just tin that end up. Get it through the tag hole, it would be better. There we go. And we'll just complete the circuit at the top of this now 1 amp fuse. There. Okay. So, that's got that in. Time for the big power up. Shall I just go for it? Not sure I've got that many 100 ohm resistors left. So, maybe not. Right. Excuse me. Let me refamiliarise myself with the controls. Oh, marsh. Yes, of course. Right. So I'm just going to pop this into the safe block. Let me see what condition we're in. We're in full volts. Let's not do that. Right, power is on. We're on marsh, which is on the front. And I'm just going to gently bring that voltage up. Okay, 50 volts. No fire as yet. That's 120 volts. Can I see a glimmer from the dial lamp? Oh, I can. I'm now confident. There we are. That is 240 volts. So, dial lamps are all lit up. We have a bit of sound and a lot of interference. Good. Okay. And it's running, you know, it's not taken our fuse out. I ought to measure the current, I suppose, but maybe we'll do that afterwards. Next thing I want to do is just give this thing, the casework, etc., a really good clean. So I'm spotting 4 screws, these slot-headed fellas here. There's one there, 2 underneath here. And then I'm guessing the whole chassis will pull out, leaving us the case. Now, how are the knobs on there? That one is held in with a grub screw. So I can, I think it's a slot. It is a slot. There's our screw. Just put that safely in the box. And yes, I do have to take it all the way out. Passes through the shaft, look. I thought it was just a sort of locking grub screw. And the knob is just a pull off the concentric part. Presumably the same MO with the tuning knob. Both our knobs out. Not quite sure how our on-off switch is going to fare just yet. We shall find out. Put that back over there for a moment. Turn this around here. And see if we can extract the chassis itself. That looks to be the screwdriver for the job. Yep, they're much longer. There's one from the top of the case, and that's one from the bottom, so twice the length. Now, presumably the chassis will just fall in my lap. Oh yes, that's good. Right, there we've got the case with years of detritus and nastiness in it. Interesting that the dial lamp that illuminates that translucent corner here, this translucent corner, is attached to the chassis. I was thinking it was probably attached to that. Clearly not. Right, let's go and give it a clean. Well, we're going to leave this one here. Please join me next week here on Doz's Television Workshop, and I'm going to be putting the thing back together and aligning it. So we'll look forward to that. In the meantime, please click like, subscribe, do all that rubbish, and I'll see you next week. Mes excuses pour le mauvais français, et s'il vous plaît, cliquez sur j'aime et abonnez-vous, et je vous verrai la prochaine for ce Doz Television Workshop. Au revoir. Brand name is Radiola. Start that again because I've got the coughs. Ah, hot. Stupid boy. Marsh, volume on. Marsh, volume on. Marsh, volume on. volume on. Wow. My volume on. Wow. My